What's going on, everyone? Here's another update video, I guess. Well, this is less of an update video. This is some neat stuff that happened while I was playing. First and foremost, I got my Sirenic armor, but that's not the purpose of this video. I thought this would be really funny and interesting, but someone tried to lure me into the wilderness thinking that I haven't been playing this game for 15 plus years, right? So I figured I would show the clip. I started recording sort of like midway through the lure, so forgive me if it's a little bit, the context is a little bit hard to understand, but basically, let this video be a warning to anyone. Don't go into the wilderness unless you're willing to lose stuff. So let me first start by explaining the characters in this pathetic lure. This guy here in the red is going to be the anti-lure, or, you know, like the buddy, right? He's trying to trick me into thinking that, yeah, you can totally get away with this money. If you're smart enough, you can absolutely get away with this money. But let me point out to you guys that that is not the case. The way this lure works, it plays on people who think that they can get this money and teleport away, right? The moment, actually, before I say anything else, I'm gonna let the footage play. This is pretty long, and I'll probably cut some of this down. But as you can see here, I decided to turn on my camera to see just how far this lure would play out. And I really just want to help people who have been lured before, like, or at least haven't been lured yet, but could potentially get lured. This is gonna, I guess, sort of like walk you through what's going on from the point of view of an idiot, right? Consider me an idiot in this case, right? I'm playing along with this lure. I know for a fact that this is a lure, right? I know that this guy with the magic cape is a scumbag, right? And as you'll notice, there's several players who send me messages throughout this, and all of them are scumbags. Don't trust anyone in this situation who tells you that, oh, you can get away with the money, or if you do this or that, you can get away with the money, or you can make all this cash. Like, just don't believe any of that stuff. It's all a scam. So he wanted me to hop to the other world because the guy who talked to me was apparently scaring him away, right? He's acting because he's apparently been tricked, but he's apparently tricked the scammer into giving him all this money, and the guy who's gotten all this money is telling me, yeah, you can do it just like this, you can get all this money too. And I'm like, I'll see how far it goes, you know, I'm testing it out. So he wants us to go to Edgeville because Edgeville is closer to the wilderness. And before we go anywhere else, let me just tell you guys, don't ever go into the wilderness with your gear, right? As you can see from my inventory, I have no armor, I have no money. I actually may have money in my pouch, but at some point I point out that, like, I should get rid of this money in my pouch because I don't want to risk it, right? I got rid of, yeah, right there, I got rid of everything because I know for a fact that this is a scam. I know for a fact that they're going to try to get me on whatever I have in my inventory. Now just listen to what this guy is telling me to do. Just, like, read through it. Hold up, I actually need to zoom in. I actually can't see it because I'm looking at a viewfinder. However, basically his whole thing is that he's going to take me over here to the wilderness, right? He's going to show me this neat trick, right? You know, he's like, oh, you know, I'm making a video and I need you to telegraph this item. This is the oldest trick in the book. This has been a trick since I was a kid, right? So the moment they added, like, the wilderness ditch, and I think even before the wilderness ditch, as long as telegraph has been a spell in this game, this has been a trick that people have used to lure you into the wilderness. Don't ever take it. Don't ever fall for these traps. So he wants us to jump over the wilderness ditch, right? Here's the thing. The way they get you is they want you to trade before you jump over. And then when they do jump over, they will actually trade you back, and they'll do something to make it so that the server sees their character as a different location as to where you see it on your screen. And so what ends up happening is your character just sprints off into the wilderness where you will get ganked. You will get ganked. You're gonna get ganked by the players that are hiding. Like, you can see them on the map. You see the green dot over by the Grand Exchange wall? This guy, this is the guy that was telling me the guy that I'm following is a scammer. He's a scammer too. He's saying he's trying to pretend he's my friend, but he is 100% just as much of a scammer as everyone. And I just want to point out, I don't give a fuck about naming and shaming, right? I actually don't care. I'm not a player mod. I'm not a Jagex mod. I'm not affiliated at all with RuneScape. I'm just a regular player, right? I don't care about these players getting banned. If you want to yell at them and shit like that, that's on you, right? I'm not endorsing it, but I don't care, right? So just as a heads up, if you meet any of these players, they are scammers. Straight up, they are lurers. And, you know, trust them as much as you would trust anyone who steals money, right? Anyone who steals money from you, trust them as much as you would trust them. But back to the topic here. I've seemed to have rambled and gone off on a tangent, as you would in my situation. I'm an old man. So yeah, he's trying to give me this elaborate, he's trying to show me this elaborate plan to how he wants to like give me the money and stuff like that. And I guess it's to sort of like jumble up your brain to make you think that like you have all these things you're supposed to do. But ultimately all he wants to do is trade you so that you will run off into the wilderness. And I'm gonna be honest, there is a very simple way to stop this. And like, I'm gonna be honest, you're not gonna get the money, okay? You're not gonna get the money. There's no way you're gonna get the money. However, you're not gonna lose your stuff either, okay? And I'm gonna tell you the easy trick. If anyone ever wants you to jump into the wilderness for any reason, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Like, it's always 100% a scam, okay? Like, any reason. Like, I don't care if they tell you, oh, we're going for a clue scroll. If it's not your clue scroll, don't go, right? Unless you're willing to risk that stuff, right? If you don't mind losing your gear and you don't mind just like, if you don't mind losing time spent and stuff like that, then like, who cares, right? Fuck it, right? Who cares if you lose your gear? But don't ever take something into the wilderness that you're not willing to lose, right? And I want to point out, like I was saying, I don't know if I said this in the intro or not, but I don't have anything against PKers, right? I think PKing is a valid part of the game. If you go into the wilderness and you take stuff that you're willing to lose and you get killed, then, you know, like they earned it, right? They killed you and you lost your stuff. However, I don't agree with people being tricked into going to the wilderness, right? I don't agree with preying on people who are noobs, right? Like, that's not okay at all. If you don't know what's going on in the wilderness, if you don't know how to take care of yourself, if you don't know how to PvP, don't go into the wilderness at all. Even if you don't care about risking, right? Go to Duel Arena and learn how to fight. Duel people in the Grand Exchange. You know, people will help you learn. But don't ever go into the wilderness if you're scared of dying, right? Because that's what's gonna happen when you go into the wilderness. I seem to have gone on another tangent. So I'm turning on my ability to target other players here. Before I had it off because I've been playing this game for a long time. I know what happens in the wilderness. I know they're gonna skull trick you. So whenever I go into the wilderness, I turn off the ability to attack other players because I don't want to get skull tricked. You know what I mean? Right? I don't mind PvP. I love PvP. If you've been hanging around on my channel, for the long haul, you know that PvP is pretty much all I do in most games. So like, I have no problem fighting other players, right? But I don't think anyone enjoys being skull tricked. Yeah, so again, he's just going through this long list of things he wants me to like type out and test out things. Like, he's trying to prove to me, see, here's the safe spot, this is the danger zone, here's the safe spot, there's the danger zone, right? None of that shit matters, because where you see him on the screen is not where the server sees him. And where the server sees him is where you're gonna be sent. Like, what's gonna happen is you're gonna open that trade window, and the exact moment that trade window opens, you're gonna get ice barraged and you're gonna get destroyed. There's another thing I want to point out that a lot of these lurers do, and this is a really big tell, right? Most of these lurers are absolute dog shit at PvP, right? They can't handle anyone who fights back. They don't know how. They absolutely have no clue how to handle anyone who knows how to fight back. They're trash, right? So here's what they'll do. And this is like, again, this is a surefire way to know you are being lured, right? If they tell you to go into legacy mode combat for any reason, don't do it. And the reason why is because legacy mode combat doesn't have a way to escape binds. You can't escape a bind in legacy mode. So what they do is they ice barrage you in place, right? And now that tier 90 and tier 92 weapons exist, they can pretty much one-hit kill you. So what they're doing is they're binding you in place. You have no abilities to respond with. You can't resonance. You can't immortality. You can't do anything. So what ends up happening is you just die because there's no escape. You can't teleport out. You're right. I'm pretty sure they teleblock you. I didn't get far enough into this lure to figure out if they teleblock you. I would be surprised if any of them even know what teleblock is. Fucking scrubs. So, and I want to point out that I'm not like, I didn't lose anything. I'm not upset, right? I'm upset that they wasted my time because I thought I was going to get an easy 300 mil. But once I realized that it wasn't really possible for me to get any of that money, I knew that that shit was a waste of my time. I could have been like grinding. I could have been getting kills. I could have been killing Ambassador, but I'm sitting here fooling around with these morons because they don't know how to make money their own way. Just like, look how predatory this is. Just look how predatory these people are. And like, it's just this one guy for right now, but later on another person comes up with the exact same sort of like anti-lure tactic as the first guy, who's like, oh, you're still trying to lure people? Look how much money I made from him. And they'll maybe like show up like with 200 mil or something like that. And they'll be like, yo, check this out. Check out this money I got from him. He's a scrub, right? But I want to point out that one of the other things that that really tipped me off that it was a lure, again, like, I mean, I already knew it was a lure, but like one of the things that like they should really work on, because they're scrubs, is that you shouldn't have the anti-lure know what the fuck the lure is saying in PMs. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make it obvious that you're a part of the same team. Like, that's what kind of makes me think these are just kids, like, or morons. They don't understand that, like, if you're trying to trick somebody, don't make it seem like you're a monolith or like a bunch of robots or bots working together, right? Like, seem like you're a little bit coherent, at least, right? And maybe this lure would go a long way. But no, they don't have that sort of like, they don't have the mental fortitude to do that, right? They can barely come up with a lure. They can't even boss to make money. They can just like, they're struggling in RuneScape. Like, come on. So they gotta steal from other players. Look at this. Oh, another thing. Check this out. They want me to drain my prayer before I go into the wilderness. And interestingly enough, not only do they want me to drain it, they want me to like absolutely like bottom it out. Like, and I'll point out what's weird about this, right? Or the part of it that really like squicked me out, right? There's a part at the towards later into the video where I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. Like, it's obvious that they want me to have 0 prayer, so I can't use protect one item. I can't protect my +1 or whatever. But I drank a super restore, and they were able to tell that I still had prayer, which I thought was a little bit weird. Like, I don't know how they were able to see my stats or my remaining prayer points. I don't know if there's something that they were doing to like see my remaining prayer points, but yeah, I was mostly just stalling to see if I could like hurry this up, to see if I could like get them to do whatever they're doing for the lure while I still had a little prayer. I was like, I got 99, right? So let's see if I can stall it out. They wanted me to turn on Soul Split and Turmoil just to drain it as fast as possible. And I only turned on Soul Split because I was like, well, let's see if I can like hold out a little bit. It didn't matter because like there was no way that they were going to get me into the wilderness to actually fight. They're even abusing the group system. See, okay, I'm really hoping that like if a Jagex mod or something sees this, that they can glean something from this, right? Like, something needs to be changed so that these players cannot lure people, right? And don't get me wrong, I don't mind PKing. PKing is totally cool. I love clan wars. I absolutely love risk and stuff like that. If you go into a clan war and you're risking, that's one of the best feelings in the world, in my opinion, for RuneScape. It's one of the best RuneScape feelings you can get in honestly, one of the best feelings you can get in this game is what I'm trying to say. But there is no reason that there should be a function in the game that allows players to be preyed upon. You get what I mean? Like, and I don't mean like the hunter and prey situation that happens in the wilderness by nature. I mean just like the absolute nonsense that is luring. Like, you shouldn't be able to take a player who doesn't want to go into the wilderness and risk into the wilderness, right? And obviously like the wilderness ditch is supposed to stop that. But there needs to be another system in place. Like, even this guy, honestly, Mr. X shouldn't exist. Like, why does there need to be a person that makes you skull when I can just skull from hitting someone? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to just be skulled for no reason? That's stupid. Just remove his ass. All right, so now he's taking me into the bank. He's like, okay, now get all of your expensive stuff out of your bank because we're gonna go into the wilderness now. Like, you have to be really hopeful that you're gonna get the money in order to do this, right? And just watch this, right? I take out some of my stuff because at first I take out like my full void, right? Because I was like, oh yeah, I'll just trick them into thinking I only have void, right? They're not gonna get anything off me. But they're like, no, take out like your real gear. And they're not, and I'm worried that they're not going to take me further into this lure if I don't like pull out some actual gear. And again, don't worry guys, like you don't have to stress out. I don't lose any stuff. I don't lose anything in this video. I would not record this if I was gonna lose some stuff. That would be incredibly embarrassing, right? But trust me when I say this is like the creepiest shit ever, right? They want me to go to my bank and basically like take out my gear because they're gonna go into the wilderness and lure me. Like, also, like, look at his inventory. He's got like a bunch of weird stuff in here. I wonder if this is all the stuff that he's stolen from players. He's got like shrimp and stuff like that. Like, why is this here? You know what would be really interesting? It would be really funny to make like a group of players who legitimately anti-lure, right? They look for people who are luring, look for people who are getting lured, right? And then when the lurers show up with their group, then like everybody shows up with their anti-lure group and they just PK, right? Like that would be actually fun. That would be sick even, right? And like there's actually like tier 92s on the line and shit like that. Like everyone's actually risking. That's what the wilderness is supposed to be, right? Like it's supposed to be like scary and like you can lose your shit, but you're not getting, oh, here's the other person who comes out of nowhere. They just happen to know. Watch this, check this out. Look at this. They're like, oh, you're still scamming people? Wow, don't trust him, he's a scammer. Wow, you're a scrub for scamming. Like, come on. Like, you have to be like a 5-year-old to believe this script. This is pathetic. Like, I don't know who they expect to fall for this, but it clearly must work. And like, they're gonna come to me like, I don't care, I already know what to lure. I'm not bothered, right? I don't give a fuck. I'm not even gonna bother listening to what you have to say. I already know you're luring. Stop wasting my time. That's where I was at by the time I was like going through this. Because you gotta understand, before this, before I got lured here, I was actually working on like perking out my gear. I was like disassembling stuff and like, you know, working on shit, just like, you know, trying to get stuff done. And these losers gotta take me away from what I'm doing. And by the way, their names are in the chat. If you wanna fuck them up, go for it, right? I don't endorse it. I don't endorse it. But if you wanna yell at them, that's on you, right? I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying I can't stop you from doing it. I don't care if you do it. You know what I'm saying? But as a heads up, don't trust these players because they're fucking lurers, okay? Like if you hang out with these fucking losers, then you're just as bad. Like come on. Until like, okay. I was like, oh yeah, here's what I was just like, I'll take a super restore dose. And I think he saw me drink, which I wish he hadn't. I should have like covered it with an ability or something like that. I should have done like, what's the ability? Well, I'm on Legacy, so I can't use any abilities, but yeah, so he's telling me that I should get my tier 92s and stuff like that because like, you know, like my stuff, like he wants me to bring out like really expensive stuff because for a video apparently, like he wants to have a video. That's his big reveal here. He's trying to make a video or some shit, right? So why do I need to bring out my tier 92s when this dude is level 3? You get what I'm saying? Like he's very clearly a scammer. He's very clearly trying to lure me, right? There is no way around it at this point. Oh yeah, so I tell him that like I don't have any gold because like I used all of it working on my gear. You know, this is all the gear I have, and like it is all the gear that I have to be fair. But you know, I'm not bringing out my cash stack. Like that's fucking whack, dude. There's no way I would do that. All the while, like people on my friends list are still talking to me. Oh yeah, it's the other anti-lure. Here they are in the bank. Conveniently enough, they're banking now. See, I didn't catch this when I was actually playing, but yeah, the other anti-lure just showed up in the same bank and is banking at the edge of a bank, right? They're getting supplies out. And the reason they're getting supplies out is because they're going to try to kill me. Like, they're 100% going to try to kill me as soon as they go into the wilderness. That's their end game here. They want to take you to the wilderness, take you out back and shoot you, right? Like, that's the whole plan. Also, like, if this is too long, let me know. I probably don't need to go into gratuitous detail about this lure, but like, I want people to see like the actual steps that go into this, right? I want you guys to see the absolute degeneracy that is involved with this. Like, these people are assholes, okay? Like, they should be banned. They absolutely should be banned. Oh yeah, so I pull out some obscure number of coins to make it seem like this is my actual cash stack, because like I don't want them to think that I'm holding out on them or whatever. But they're absolute morons, and they think that like I only have 3 mil gold. Like, come on. Why? Like, I don't think there's many people who are maxed who have just like 3 mil gold. Like, come on now. And I have 120 range. Like, I would have made more money off 120 range than just 3 mil. Killing anything, really. Yeah, and he wants all of my items in my inventory, right? He doesn't want me to have anything in like equipped. He wants it to be all in my inventory. And the reason he wants that is because like it makes it easier for me to get killed, right? Like when I go into the wilderness, they don't want any resistance. That's what makes these people scum, right? Like, they don't want to fight you and get your gear. They just want to steal from you. They just want to like gank you and kill you. And unfortunately, I don't have footage of them like coming out and attacking me. So like, I can't show footage of them just like trying to gank me. I didn't want to go that far because like that would have actually been a serious risk, and that would have been dangerous for my account. I don't want to deal with that. But however, as you can see over here, there's a masterwork music box over here. That is the point they're gonna spawn in on. I click it because I was like, that's exactly where they're gonna spawn. I'm pretty sure that's placed there specifically because when they spawn in, they're gonna spawn in underneath it, and so I won't see them coming. So like if I were to wait here long enough and keep examining that music box, what would end up happening is I would see people spawning in underneath it. And like, look at the situation here, right? I'm skulled. I have all my stuff in my, like, okay, just look at this. Like, just take all this in. I'm skulled. I have stuff in my inventory that I don't want to lose, right? And there are people trying to get me to jump into the wilderness. Like, think about this, guys. If you're ever in a situation where you're about to get lured, just take a step back and look at what's going on here. Like, you obviously don't want to lose the stuff in your inventory, right? They have literal gold in your inventory. They said that this is for a video, but how would they see the gold in your inventory, right? That's literally just them trying to rob you, okay? And they're trying to get me to like do trades and like they're trying to like confuse me and shit like this. Like, don't ever allow players to get away with this. Like, don't let people scam you like this. At this point, I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother. Like, they're trying to regain my trust because like I've already explained to them that I already know what's going on, but like I've explained to them like, hey, look, I can't trade in the wilderness, so you know, like there's no point. If you're gonna trade me the money, you have to jump back and hand me the money, right? And so he's trying to regain my trust by saying like, okay, come back to the bank, let me prove to you that it's safe, right? He's like, put your stuff in the bank, I'll prove to you that it's safe, right? Like, watch this. He tries to get me to jump over again, and like I'm like, look, I'm not jumping. I'm not jumping. I'm absolutely not gonna jump. Right? And I'm honestly trying to coax him into handing me the 300 million gold while I'm standing in a non-PvP area, because if he had handed me that gold at any point, I would have teleported away because he would have trust traded me. You know what I mean? Like, that's his problem, right? He's trying to scam me. If he hands me 300 million gold, I'm taking it and I'm running away. I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend like I'm like more righteous than that. Like, I would absolutely take his money, right? Honestly, if him and his friends were in the PvP, if they were in the wilderness and I was in the wilderness hunting people, I would absolutely take them out. It would be easy as fuck, right? Non-issue, okay? So he's like, okay, you have all your stuff. Like, there's nothing in your inventory. Like, we're gonna show you it's safe, right? He's like, okay, you trade me. And then we jump over and like, okay, I have nothing I'm gonna risk, so I can jump over. I double check to make sure I don't have anything equipped, I don't have anything in my inventory, I don't have any gold in my money pouch, right? I'm all good. So, there we go. I stand here and I'm like, okay. Seems like we're pretty safe, you know? Can't rob me here, I have nothing to, Okay. Nothing to lose here. Nothing risked here, no problem at all. And like, this is how you avoid getting lured, right? Be skeptical of everything. Don't trust anyone. RuneScape is a game of scammers. I've been playing this game for so long that like that's ingrained into my like psyche at this point. Like I understand that RuneScape players will try to steal your shit. That's what they do. That's the whole purpose of RuneScape basically. Like if you log into RuneScape, there's a chance someone's looking at your gear talking about, let's see if I can lure this guy, right? What they don't understand is that I have nothing to lose, first and foremost, and I'm not dumb enough to like ever. And see, like, here's the thing. If he had just handed me the gold right there, I would have been gone. I would have just left. And kudos to him. He's wise enough to understand that I will take his money at the drop of a hat. But he's not wise enough to understand that, like, I'm not gonna fucking take my gear into the wilderness. That shit's just not happening. And so, like, at this point, I'm like, look, y'all are wasting my time. I decide I'm just gonna head out because, like, I'm not getting the money. I know that they're trying to scam me. I know that they're luring me. It's a trick. And the only way they're gonna trade me is once I'm over the wilderness ditch. So I decided, you know what? This is not worth my time. I'm gonna go back to what I'm doing. This guy can go fuck himself, right? Wasted my time. And I'm just like, let me just leave this group too. Fuck it. Let me get out of here. Go to Prif. And that's pretty much it. I hope it's been like a eye-opening experience. I know I kind of rambled and ranted through here, but like, honestly, the only thing I'm upset about is that they wasted my time. I didn't lose any gear. It's just that like, I could have been out making money. I could have been killing racks or necks or anything. You know what I mean? But instead, these assholes decided to waste my time. And if you see them, report them for scamming. Like, that's one thing I will endorse. If you see them, report them for scamming. They're not good people. They don't deserve their accounts. I would argue that most of the gear that they have on their account was probably stolen off somebody who really earned their stuff. So, with that, I will go ahead and say peace out. Thank you for watching. This has been Honor Marked, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.